Some of the most important cars ever built looked like beige appliances with wheels. Boxy sedans, taxi-spec hatchbacks, anonymous family cars, all hiding clever engineering, strange politics, or motorsport DNA. Today, we are counting down 10 classics that looked forgettable until you learned what they changed. The Mercedes-Benz W123 did not look like a status symbol. It was upright, formal, and almost stubbornly practical, with big glass, simple lines, and the presence of a bank manager's company car. Then it became one of the hardest working machines on Earth. Across Europe, Africa, and the Middle East, W123 diesels ran as taxis for absurd mileages, often passing 1 million miles with basic maintenance and plenty of scars. Its legend came from engineering discipline, durable diesel engines, conservative mechanical parts, thick build quality, and worldwide parts support. It was not exciting, but it was trusted everywhere. And the next car looked even more ordinary, until it started embarrassing sports cars. The Volvo 240 looked like it had been designed with a ruler and a safety manual. It was square, upright, heavy-looking, and built for parents who cared more about seatbelts than speed. That was exactly the point. Introduced in the 1970s, the 240 stayed in production for nearly 2 decades, earning a loyal following through durability, crash safety, and the ability to survive miserable weather with very little drama. Then Volvo took this sensible family car racing. In touring car competition, turbocharged 240s became shockingly effective, using their strength and power to fight far sleeker machines. Fans called it the flying brick, school-run wagon, safety icon, and racing oddball. The 240 hid all three in one plain box. Peugeot's 504 looked calm almost to the point of invisibility. Its Pininfarina-influenced lines were neat, upright, and sensible, the kind of shape that made it seem like ordinary family transport rather than a legend. Then it met bad roads. Across Africa especially, the 504 became prized because it could take heat, dust, overloading, and rough tracks while staying repairable with basic tools. Taxi drivers, farmers, officials, and private owners trusted it because it kept working where newer cars gave up. Its long travel suspension made it unusually comfortable, but also tough enough for rallying. The 504 won brutal events like the Safari Rally, proving that plain design could hide serious endurance. And the next car concealed something even more radical under an equally modest skin. Citroën's Traction Avant looked like a formal pre-war sedan, dark paint, separate-looking fenders, upright confidence. But underneath, it was decades ahead of many rivals. Launched in the 1930s, it combined front-wheel drive, a very low stance, and unit body construction in one production car. That made it lighter, lower, and more stable than the tall, body-on-frame sedans people were used to. Its story grew far beyond engineering. The Traction Avant became tied to French police chases, gangster escapes, and images of wartime resistance moving through occupied streets. Cinema later amplified that reputation. Next, an even plainer car became the background for millions of real city lives. The Checker Marathon looked less designed than assembled from right angles. Its tall roof, flat sides, wide doors, and simple panels were not styling flourishes. They made room for passengers, luggage, quick repairs, and years of punishment. Built from the early 1960s into the early 1980s, it became inseparable from New York taxi life. A Marathon could sit outside a hotel, crawl through midtown traffic, or idle under steam rising from a manhole, and look completely at home. Its back seat carried actors, nurses, immigrants, tourists, office workers, and people ending nights they would barely remember. Next, another plain American car helped create something far more famous. The Ford Falcon arrived for 1960 as the sensible answer to big, thirsty American cars. It was compact, cheap to run, easy to park, and styled so plainly it could disappear in a supermarket lot. But underneath that modest body was the recipe Ford needed next. The Falcon's platform, suspension pieces, engines, and basic engineering helped make the original Mustang affordable to develop and quick to launch. Families bought Falcons as sedans and wagons. Commuters bought them for economy. Tuners and racers found that lighter versions could become surprisingly quick. The Falcon looked like a budget appliance, but it helped birth a legend. Next, Another quiet compact hid a real muscle car streak. Canada sold the Nova as basic transportation, straight lines, tidy proportions, and almost no visual drama. Parked beside a Camaro or Chevelle, it looked like the car someone bought to avoid attention. That made it perfect sleeper material. The Nova was light, simple, and available with serious V8 power, so the right parts could turn a plain compact into something far quicker than its shape suggested. Dealers and builders pushed the idea even further. Yenko cars, central office production order stories, and backyard engine swaps gave the Nova a reputation bigger than its modest sheet metal. It proved performance did not need a loud costume. Next, Europe quietly rewrites the sports sedan. In Europe, that rewrite came in a square little BMW with thin pillars, upright glass, and the stance of a sensible family car. Beside a Lamborghini Miura or Porsche 911, the 2002 looked almost administrative. The secret was the combination. It had a practical two-door body, a willing four-cylinder engine, rear-wheel drive, and steering that made ordinary roads feel important. It was not exotic, but it made the driver feel connected at everyday speeds. That formula reshaped BMW's future. The 2002 helped make the small sports sedan desirable, and its spirit carried directly into the 3 Series. Next, a plain people's car becomes a global machine. Renault answered that idea with a car that looked like a metal tool shed on wheels. The Renault 4 had a flat face, a boxy hatchback body, and almost no styling drama, but that shape made it useful. Built from 1961 into the 1990s, it passed 8 million examples and became cheap transport across Europe, South America, Africa, and beyond. Its front-wheel drive layout freed up space, the rear hatch swallowed awkward loads, and the soft suspension handled broken roads without complaint. Farmers, families, students, and small businesses all found a reason to own one, and the final car took that same small car logic and changed the industry. The Mini began as a practical answer to expensive fuel and crowded streets. It was supposed to be cheap, small, and easy to park, not a legend. Its genius was under the skin. Alec Isagonis turned the engine sideways, drove the front wheels, and pushed the wheels to the corners, giving a tiny car surprising cabin space. That layout became the blueprint for modern small cars. Then it embarrassed bigger machines in motorsport. The Mini Cooper won the Monte Carlo Rally and proved that lightweight, grip, and clever packaging could beat raw power. For something so plain, the Mini changed almost everything. From the Mini to every overlooked sleeper here, the lesson is simple. Practical shapes can hide world-changing ideas. Thanks for watching. Comment with a boring-looking classic that deserves respect, and like and subscribe for more overlooked automotive history.